What if this is true about marriage? That the same person you are complaining about with someone who could put in the work, he will produce the best version of that person. The best version. Does it not happen? You were dating, you were almost breaking each other's head. You thought there was something wrong with you. That marriage, that relationship ended. You found another person and you're good. What does that tell you? One of the leading men of God, something happened. His wife used to be in a very abusive relationship. Very horrible. Very horrible. And then it ended. He started dating this man of God. They got married, have a great marriage, and all of that. They went to preach somewhere, landed in a private jet, and there were people ready to receive them with confetti, with flowers, and all of that. And there was the ex, and so when they got to the ex, an introduction was made. Oh, this is the person I told you about, and then what this man of God said? Thank you for not marrying her, Thank you for not marrying her. I would have missed out on the best woman in the world. So what I'm saying is, why is it that the same husband you are convinced is imperfect, and all of that, there are people who are if they get chance. Hallelujah. What if you came into that marriage with your chisel? Do you understand what I'm saying? Both parties with their chisel walk on each other. Walk on each other, just like a sculptor walking on a piece of art, carving some things out, carving some places out. What if you do that for each other? That whatever you don't like, you can correct. Find the right way. You both can become the best versions of yourself. What if you have that mentality, that resilience? It can work. It's just like in every other aspect of life. You don't know what you are capable of until you have the right coach, until you have the right teacher. I've told you several times, in primary school, I was an average student for the most part. Went into a new school with a teacher who actually cared and began aced the international exams. It's a fact of life. A psychologist made a bold claim. He said, by watching a married couple for 5 minutes, it's a bold claim, don't forget. By watching a married couple for 5 minutes, he can tell with 91% precision if the marriage will be successful or not. And he has done this for 3,000 couples over several decades. 91% accuracy. You see, what we don't realize is that relationships are very similar. Good relationships are similar, bad relationships are similar. The ladies who are doing the wrong thing, they are all doing the wrong thing. Similar things. The guys who are doing the wrong things, they're all doing similar things. And this is the most interesting thing about his research. He discovered that the good marriages were not exactly different from the bad marriages. They all had the same problems. In the good marriages, they also fought regularly. They quarreled regularly and quarreled about the same thing. See, let me say this to you. Another psychological research I found out. A woman's behavior in marriage was compared to children and how they behave in classrooms. Do you know how children behave when they want attention and they are not getting it? Complained all the time. It's normal. But how you go about it is different. Complaining is feedback. Complaining is focused on the action, what was done. Criticism is an attack on the personality. And it is always casting aspersions, always conclusive. And always using the word always. You always do this. You always, it's an attack on the person's character or personality. So instead of saying you promise to clean the kitchen, someone will say, why are you always so forgetful? That's the difference between complaint and criticism. And by the way, he's telling you how he's able to predict with precision some marriages that will not stand the test of time. This in itself is not enough, but it is one of the pointers. The next they talked about is contempt. Contempt. You see, you have to understand how powerful it is when the Bible tells men, don't be bitter against your wives. It's so powerful. Sometimes you wonder, how did he know? Because with constant complaining and criticism, if you are not careful, it leads to the next stage. Now you're holding someone in contempt. You are bitter against the person. Listen, one of the leading causes of divorce is unmet expectation. I kept not expecting you to be this person or do this, and you weren't doing that. I got tired about it. I got tired of talking about it, and so it ended. Because at some point, we now nurse bitterness. We are not even complaining anymore. We've given up on the person. Now we have a perception of the person. Many quarrels will, in fact, the reason why many quarrels go unresolved is that we already have a perception of the person. The reason small issues are escalated is because we have a perception of the person. If you don't change that perception, and that's why, are you ready for this? It has been proven scientifically that even therapy sessions don't always work. As high as 65% of people who go for therapy sessions, just months down the line, they relapse. That's almost everybody in 6 months. Because now you are laying out the problem, but the problem is just the surface. There are underlying issues. You know, there are underlying issues that sometimes fundamentally is a trust problem. I don't really trust this person anymore. I'm not safe around this person.